In a quiet village nestled against the hills lived a young boy named Arav. Arav wasn't a bad kid, but he possessed a heavy, lingering shadow that followed him everywhere: laziness. While other children practiced their trades, studied, or helped their families, Arav mastered the art of doing absolutely nothing. He would sit for hours on the porch, staring into space, ignoring his chores. His mother, Kamala, spent her days working herself to the bone. Every evening, she would sit beside him, her face lined with exhaustion and worry, and try to reason with him. Arav, a mountain isn't crossed in a single giant leap, she would say softly, raising a finger to emphasize her point. It is crossed by taking small, disciplined steps. Your laziness is a heavy blanket, my son. You must throw it off. Arav would look down at his dusty feet, feeling a twinge of guilt, but the sheer effort of changing his entire life felt completely overwhelming. How can I suddenly become hardworking when I have so much lost time to make up for? He thought. So he did nothing. One afternoon, a traveling monk known for his deep wisdom stopped by their house for a cup of water. Observing Arav's slouched posture and Kamala's sad eyes, the monk understood the situation immediately. He didn't lecture the boy. Instead, he reached into his cloth bag, pulled out a small, beautifully polished stone, and handed it to Arav. Arav, the monk said, I have a simple task for you. Every morning, the moment you wake up, you must take this stone and place it in the brass bowl by your front door. That is all. You can go back to being lazy immediately after. Arav blinked. That's it? Just move a stone 3 feet? Just that, the monk smiled. But you must do it every single day without fail. The next morning, Arav woke up. His usual instinct was to lie in bed for another 2 hours. But he saw the stone on his nightstand. Moving it felt so incredibly small, so effortless, that his usual excuses couldn't find a foothold. He got up, walked to the door, and dropped it into the brass bowl. Clink. He went back to bed, but a strange thing happened. He couldn't fall back asleep. He was already up. By the 5th day, the action became automatic. He would wake up, move the stone, and hear the clink. But on the 10th day after dropping the stone, he looked out the door and saw his mother struggling to lift a heavy pot of water. Because he was already standing at the door, stepping outside to help her felt just a little bit easier than walking back to bed. So, he helped her. Kamala's face lit up with a brilliant smile. That smile felt better than 2 extra hours of sleep. The small habit of moving the stone began to break the paralysis of Arav's laziness. It acted as a keystone habit, a tiny spark that lit a fire of change. Week 3. After moving the stone, he decided to sweep the porch since he was already standing there. Month 2. The discipline of doing one thing every single day spilled into his mind. He began waking up early to read, realizing that reading just 2 pages a day wasn't as scary as trying to read a whole book. Month 6. Arav was no longer the lazy boy of the village. He had transformed into a focused, helpful young man. He didn't overhaul his life overnight. He simply built a bridge of tiny, daily victories. When the monk returned to the village a year later, he found Arav tending to a thriving garden in front of his house. The brass bowl was gone, replaced by a beautiful courtyard. Arav ran up to the monk and returned the polished stone. Thank you, Arav said. Your magic stone changed my life. The monk laughed. There is no magic in the stone, Arav. The magic is in the repetition. A small habit is like a single drop of water. It seems insignificant, but given time, it can hollow out a rock. The moral of the story. Big changes do not require massive, overwhelming efforts. They require small, atomic habits practiced consistently. You do not need to fix your entire life today. You just need to move your stone tomorrow morning.